Hello folks, Phil Galler of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today we are going to be playing Goblins, courtesy of Preston M. This was a list that was recently featured on Channel Fireball. I assume Mengucci did not make this list himself, but it ended up coming, from some 5.0 deck list dump or equivalent. I'm going to briefly talk about the list and then we'll just kind of get into the league. So Goblins is a tribal deck that was often mono-red, but recent sets adding Munitions Expert and Sling Gang Lieutenant, geez, these aren't even really recent sets anymore. Once those cards were printed, Goblins really shifted towards being a red-black deck the vast majority of the time. And Masked Vandal recently has been an addition that is causing some people to splash green for it. So in this thing, ETBs, you can exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment and opponent controls. Now, why would we specifically want to exile it? Cauldron Complete, essentially, is the answer to that question. It's just something that is real difficult to destroy. Something like a Goblin Trashmaster doesn't actually answer that. That's kind of like the one big reason why you might want that card. Notably, we do still have a Trashmaster in the sideboard for the more traditional role of blowing up artifacts. Now, since this can also destroy an enchantment, exile an enchantment, that does mean that it can eat an Urza Saga as well, so that's something else that's relevant. I don't really know if Masked Vandal is worth it, especially in the main deck. Like, I get wanting to have the toolbox approach, but I'm all about consistency, and I don't really know that I want to add a Taiga to my deck over, say another Badlands. If I have a Munitions Expert in my hand and I draw that Taiga, there's those sorts of situations. But we'll kind of see how this feels once I actually get it into a league. Otherwise, most of the stuff that's here is pretty common, perhaps with the exception of Goblin Sharpshooter. Now, this is something that used to be very, very popular back when Death and Taxes and a huge number of other decks just had tons and tons of X1 creatures. So this doesn't normally untap, but whenever a creature dies, you get to untap it. So if your opponent has, say, 5 X1 creatures, you just go ping it, untap, ping it, untap, ping it, untap. And this is like your Goblin Wrath of God that leaves all your creatures alive. So it can be very powerful. This version does have Kiki Jiki as a way to copy, your Goblin Matrons or your Goblin Ringleaders for a good amount of value, and, I guess your Masked Vandal as well. The sideboard here is interesting, in my opinion. It has a lot of one-ofs, and I don't know how I feel as far as, like, the consistency of the game plan that this sideboard has to offer. Like, you have one Mindbreak Trap for the matchups where that's relevant. Like, you don't have redundancy in that regard. I don't know that I like that. Like, you have a Pithing Needle, a Caracas, a Relic, and you don't get to tutor for these effects, so I'm not, like, super thrilled with the way this sideboard is built. Similarly, something like a Goblin Matron lets you tutor for a Goblin, and then, like, Magus of the Moon is not a Goblin, so, like, you can't tutor for this. Like, are you randomly going to draw this in your deck that can't really select unless it's for a Goblin? I don't like the specifics of how this deck is built, but generally speaking, I do think that Goblins is a pretty powerful deck. I'm excited to see how this deck is in action. One thing I like about it is that you just have an, like, absolute crap ton of bodies. So there's 32 creatures in this main deck, right? And that means that something like a Ragavan that is trying to attack on the ground is just, like, not going to do that. So we can occasionally steal games with Muxus and Goblin Lackey. Aether Vial is incredibly powerful when backed up with Port and Wasteland. Let's just get into it and see how it goes. I might not like the exact details of this 75, but I really do like Goblins. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 5 days a week. And if you're a regular, please throw me a like real quick. It's the easiest way to support my content for free. If you want to muck with this deck list or you want to get one of your own decks on that channel, that stuff is all available in the video description. Let's battle. Hey folks, Phil from the future here. There's no easy way to put it, but this was a really bad league. Absolute dumpster fire of a league. and I don't say this often, but you might want to watch something else today. I recommend watching Round 2 versus Reaplecheap if you like seeing interesting brews, but otherwise, I get paired against 4 combo decks and basically do nothing the entire league. So you're a fill completionist and you like watching all the content, you really dig Legacy, you can watch some combo decks do some broken things, but it is brutal. Okay, so I am on the draw here with what is a fantastic hand in a vacuum. However, the daddy tends to play combo decks, specifically like graveyard combo decks. So I think knowing that information, I don't think this hand does anything against the things they're going to do. I'm going to mulligan and try to find something with like a Goblin Lackey. Hey, that's a Goblin Lackey. So this can be Goblin Lackey, attack, put in Goblin Matron, Goblin Lackey, attack, put in Muxus. This is a much better hand against this matchup specifically, or what I expect this to be. And we'll put back one of my more expensive cards and hope we don't die on turn 1. Yeah. So it looks like we were probably playing against Dredge. In which case, this can block for a little while. Yeah, whoa, we're fucked. Okay. Oh, not fucked immediately. Maybe later, though. So if my Goblin Lackey isn't going to immediately connect because this thing can still block, I probably just want to Wasteland here and hope they don't have a Dredger in hand. And that they need to cast, a cantripping effect. Faithless Looting is a bad example because they could discard LED, but, a Breakthrough or something, a Careful Study would do it. Alright, let's Wasteland. Alright. Put us at 20% to win this game. It might be generous. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. The good news is this can't block anymore. So if my opponent doesn't hit any Narcomeat, but never mind. Alright. Oh, am I not gonna get Cabal Therapied? That's good. Take 2. Okay, I did not get Cabal Therapied. Now the question is there any world where I actually win this game? But like, if I think I'm very likely to lose, I don't want my opponent to know what deck I'm on, because if they know, like, hey, you have 2 or 3 graveyard hit cards in your whole 75, like, bad news for me. I'm not going to connect twice with Goblin Lackey. I'm going to concede. I don't think I can win this game. I think I'd rather hide information. Alright. I get Surgical, I get Relic. I can, like, very reluctantly play a Pithing Needle and shut off, like, a Putrid Imp. Not the best. Yeah, I am not built to beat this matchup at all. I just don't have options. Like, Masked Vandal is too slow. I'm not going to put a creature in my graveyard. GG is probably too slow. Og War Marshal probably doesn't do a ton here. I mean, not that a Goblin Sharpshooter particularly does either, but it has some uses. Og War Marshal is really important for increasing your Goblin count for Munitions Expert. I'm just going to go ahead and trim this. And now, do I want to play Pithing Needle? It's such a crapshoot. Not going to do it. Okay. Basically, this hand doesn't have Goblin Lackey or Graveyard Hate, so this one has weak Graveyard Hate. Hand's so bad, though. Like, I have Graveyard Hate. I don't have a plan afterwards. Ugh. I'm not pleased here, but this is probably better than mulliganing again. Alright. Pick up a Badlands, play the Relic. I don't really think this Relic is great. Like, my opponent will brute force their way through this. Yeah, not immediately, though. So, we'll play the port game. Tap your land. Sometimes it be like that. Note, that is for the 1 relic that is in my deck. Allow me to cry myself to sleep as I lose this game. Okay. Yeah, sure. I've got jack shit in this hand. Okay, that's fine. My hope here is that my opponent just does not have anything. That's interesting. Guess I'm doing that. We're going to destroy Mana Confluence, and then we're going to tap down City of Brass. This is technically a win condition. So City of Brass is templated different from Mana Confluence. Mana Confluence taps, and then you pay life, like when you do the mana ability. Whereas City of Brass, whenever it becomes tapped, you take a damage. All right. I think I'm gonna just chill here and try to keep my opponent off of the black mana for something like a Putrid Imp. Also keeps them off of red for Faithless Looting. But I'm not really doing stuff. Okay, well, GG. This is gonna put enough cards into my opponent's graveyard where they can activate these Cephalid Colosseums, and then I'm, in a word, super boned. Okay. I guess we'll Ringleader and try to do something broken. My port, while not dead, has lost a lot of utility. Sure. All right. And now let's see how bad this turn is. I assume it's abysmal because my opponent will activate Cephalid Coliseum, find Ichorid food, probably find a Golgari Drave Troll, dredge 6 for turn. Yeah. So about the only way I can win from here is like magically producing a Muxus, which I'm not really set up to do right now. My opponent also gets to Cabal Therapy me, and they know cards in my hand because I revealed them. So they can Cabal Therapy me 3 different times in this turn cycle. Just gross. Alright, I think this is going to be plenty to kill me. Yeah, there's 3 different Bridge from Belows there, 3 Narcomoebas. I lose 3 of these sets of cards in my hand. Yeah. I'll let you see how bad this turn gets. You know what? No, I don't. This is fine. I'll respect your time. Let's go to the next one. All right. So we are playing against Reaplecheap, who is probably playing Curses. We have an Ether Vial port hand. I will be keeping this, and we're probably safe to go and grab Badlands with this land, and we'll just jam our Vial. Mana Denial tends to be pretty good against the Curses deck because it requires a lot of mana in order to do, well, anything. Oh, not Curses. I'm punished for getting a Badlands, but like given what my opponent plays 99% of the time, I don't fuck me, I guess. Alright. Fuck. Alright. So much for that insider information. Okay. Alright. Life from the loam? Well. Pretty good showing for my junk brew. Damn right, Reaplecheap. Get. Concede? I think this is the point where I'm dead, but I need to know what's going on with my opponent's deck. Like, I can wasteland this Urza Saga now to prevent a construct, but... Fuck. I'm just gonna die to the constructs if I don't do this. I'm so unhappy about this. I'm gonna get wastelanded again. This is fucking awful. Yeah. All because I expected to be playing against Curses. Alright. Good news is we can try a Lackey. If Lackey connects, I get Matron for Muxus, but this means that my Lackey has to survive for a couple of... Reaplecheap, what the fuck is this mana base, man? All these double black cards in your Prismatic Ending, Life from the Loam, Urza Saga Wasteland deck? Reaplecheap, we're gonna have a talk about this mana base later. Oh my gosh. Alright. Getting Decayed? No, that's a Life from the Loam. What is this? Enchanted creature gets +2/-1 with escape. Alright. Alright, we're not winning this game. My small idiots die every turn. I'm gonna lose this land and every other... Alright. Next game. Guess I need Pithing Needle for Planeswalkers. I guess I need Relics for Life from the Loam. I guess I Surgical too. Magus of the Moon is probably acceptable. Don't think I want Masked Vandal. I think I want Trash Master just as a Lord and something that can destroy Moxen, though. I'm probably not going to have multiple creatures in play for Kiki Jiki. My opponent probably doesn't have too many things to kill with this. think I get to trim on some of these removal creatures. This one can hit a planeswalker, though, so I'll keep all of these. I need to make 2 more cuts if I'm going to do all of this. Maybe enough of my creatures die that I don't want Skirk Prospector. And I don't know, maybe I don't Needle. Just because I don't want to board out too many creatures. I don't know, Needle also hits Urza's Saga and Wasteland. Probably need to do it. Junk 1 Pile Driver. That doesn't really do anything. I'm gonna mulligan this. This hand's much better. I'll keep this. Am I just junking the Pithing Needle? I'm junking either the Pithing Needle or the Surgical. Junk the Surgical. And play my Ether Vial. Okay. Rage. I'm just gonna, like, play Goblins this league. And do nothing in a billion rounds. Okay. Play Pile Driver. Alright. Reap cheap. Fuck. I kind of think they should have just wastelanded my Taiga, though. While they had the opportunity. Speaking of the Taiga, you remember when I talked about this? Admittedly, I don't have the second colored source here. But if I draw, say, a mountain, I can't actually cast this. I think I need to do this. I just need to shut off Wasteland because I am going to lose if my opponent Life from the Loams me and, like, gets Wasteland Recursion. I'm probably going to lose anyway because, like, these don't tutor anymore. This isn't removal anymore. I have overcosted X1s. Okay, good choice. Good choice. Tick that up. It's probably not gonna matter. Alright, just fucking opposition agent me, Ripple Cheap. Just do it. Just do it. Nope, okay, cool. And we'll play a lackey. I am in desperate need of mana. But my opponent's mana base is biting them in the butt. So that's the good news. Okay. Cool. And these start to attack for a reasonable amount of damage. I will put a Goblin Matron into play, which does not tutor. Ow. Fetch, grab a Badlands, and I'm going to cast another Goblin Matron, which does not tutor. The salt is going to flow with this league. I can feel it. Toxic Deluge. Not Toxic Deluge. Okay. There's more mana in new colors as well. That's fine. Sacrifice a Matron. Sacrifice a Wasteland. Riftstone Portal was discarded, so now my opponent has access to green and white. Now what do we got? Prismatic Ending? Land tax. Feel like I'm on crazy pills. Alright. Hey, you know what is not going to have a triggered ability? Alright. I put in a ringleader. My opponent is dead next turn. In theory. There's hope for me. Oh, what is this? Okay, that's a prismatic ending. So they're not dead anymore, they're only taking 4. Good. Okay. That's their third wasteland, so this Pithing Needle saved my butt. Okay. Oh, I don't know if they were supposed to take that Riftstone Portal out of their graveyard. They just made their mana much, much, much worse. Okay. Send in for 4, put you to 2. I have nothing to put in with Lackey. Okay. We won. I guess I want Masked Vandal now? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Take the Trash Master out and Warper Orb. I need to keep this. Yeah, I need to keep this. I don't know. Let's trim a Matron. Okay. So here's the question. Is a potential turn 3 Magus of the Moon good enough to keep this hand? It's a way to cheese a win. But if my opponent has a Mox, Hand's kind of garbage. I think I'm gonna mulligan this. This is a much stronger hand, I think. I'm gonna keep it and pitch this 4-drop, I think. It's awkward because if I keep Masked Vandal around, I kind of want to fetch Taiga. Which I don't super want to do. Okay. I can technically Pithing Needle that later. Also Masked Vandal it next turn. I'm gonna fetch a basic. I'm scared. I just don't want to get wastelanded here. If my Goblin Lackey dies, it's quite bad for me that I fetched this, because otherwise I'd be able to Masked Vandal next turn and destroy this. Okay, we'll Pithing Needle that. Oh, that's kind of awkward, isn't it? 2 mana make an idiot is pretty good against Goblin Lackey. I can't cast these Masked Vandals currently. I guess the play is cast Pithing Needle. That's fine. I'll make Urza's Saga here. I think I just want to permanently shut off all of those rather than try to go after this. If my Goblin Lackey isn't going to get through, I think I just need to keep my mana sources around. Sure. Now I get to Relic that out, though. That's the good news. I'll never have to deal with that again. The bad news is my hand does nothing, and these Masked Vandals are uncastable. Okay. Alright. So this will name Goblin. Now this is castable. I'll use that to blow up the Retrofitter Foundry, I guess. That's annoying, but fine. Yes. I guess now I'm blowing up the Urza Saga. And I'll take it out of the graveyard so it can't be Life from the Loamed back. The fact that I drew the green source was nice for me, but it meant that, like, the way I chose to go about things with the Pithing Needle wasn't great. Okay. Cool. Alright, my opponent discarded a Riftstone Portal. Yep. Yep. Cool, cool. I might be forced to pop this Relic in order to try and get a land drop. Okay. I'm leaving my opponent with green mana. Here's to hoping that they don't top deck a Life from the Loam, and that bites me in the butt. Okay. So I will not get that card draw anymore. Pay for this. Annoying. I'll send these in. Yeah. My opponent trades. Not surprising. I'll play a land and pass. I feel like my deck has just done nothing. Great. Cool. Only 17 more turns like this. We'll throw this on Goblin. Crash in for 1. Not the tightest sequencing. I'm pretty checked out of this match. Like, I have a bunch of bad X1s in my deck for the rest of this match. Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna wasteland myself. Good. No, this is probably better. Get them. Fart down my opponent's swamp, and then they can have a couple of lands. Okay. Sure. Okay. That's good. The real question is, like, do I just play that card? Or do I try to wait a turn? I think I just play it, because if it gets, like, discarded, it's pretty devastating for me. Yeah, you can take some more basics. Oh my gosh. How are you trying to cast Smallpox on turn 2 with this? Reapel cheap. It hurts. Okay. So dying still triggers, right? Dying still triggers. In which case, this is fine. I'll take my wasteland here. Alright. I don't have to kill the Torpor Orb yet. Do I want this on 4? Putting it on 4 enables me to do some things that I otherwise couldn't do this turn. I think I want that. Okay. Guess I can do that post-combat just the same. Send them on in. Opponent goes to 8. I'll play a Lackey. And port my opponent. Okay. Sure. Fine, I'll sacrifice this token. I'm not sure if I'm going to kill that Liliana. Let's always know this at this point. A Sling Gang. My opponent dead. I hit my opponent for 5, put them to 3. I sacrifice Lackey, destroy Torpor Orb, file in Sling Gang Lieutenant, and sacrifice my board. Yeah, my opponent is dead. I'll attack you. With my Goblin Lackey trigger on the stack, I will sacrifice Goblin Lackey and destroy Torpor Orb. I will put in a Sling Gang. And I will murder my opponent. Okay, I did nothing this game, really, but my opponent did more nothing, and so I won. GG's Reaple Cheap, but that was a rough round. Alright, I am definitely keeping this hand. The big question that I'm going to have with this hand is, are we playing turn 1 Aether Vial, or are we playing turn 1 Goblin Lackey? Because that's a real conversation, that's not a gimme thing. Well, a little bit dependent on what I see from my opponent here. Okay, so Polluted Delta has my mind in the combo bracket, specifically going towards the direction of Doomsday. Oh, maybe not. I mean, that still screams combo. If I am playing against combo, I would like to just connect with Goblin Lackey as soon as possible. If this is just going to be some sort of weird, funky Asper control deck, though, I 100% want to lead on Aether Vial. I can also just do neither of those things and just wasteland my opponent, which I think is what I'm going to do. My opponent bottomed, which makes me think they might be looking for a land specifically, and if I take them off any lands, well, it doesn't really matter what I do, they'll die. Okay, we didn't get a free one. Okay, so now, is it Lackey or is it Vial? I guess step 1, let's see if I randomly get stifled. Did not get stifled. I'm going to grab a mountain to just start things off and play an Aether Vial. Again, I'm not 100% sure that my opponent is a combo deck. I suspect it, but I don't know it. And this gives me better lines if I top deck a Rashadan Port. Okay. Alright. It's the control side of the spectrum, in which case I'm very happy that this Aether Vial is in play. Oh my god. Just like I drew it up. Yeah, so we'll just happily Rashadan Port my opponent. I think I just want to port them off the Tundra in the upkeep. I do not want to get this Aether Vial prismatic endinged. Okay. That's tapped down. I guess there's like fatal pushes that I could have to worry about still. I think my read is right that my opponent is land light. I think this is them looking for their next land drop. Otherwise, you probably brainstorm in response to me casting a spell a lot of the time. Yeah, they did not hit their next land drop. Sucks to be you. Yes. Put in Lackey. Go ahead and tick up my Vial. So if I am willing to cast Goblin Matron, I can do disgusting things this turn. I'm not sure that that's better than just continuously porting down Tundra, though. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and connect with Lackey. Get it in there. Alright, I connect. I'll put in a Matron. Yes, I'll use this ability. When it ETBs, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard if you do. Okay, so I can't actually use this to destroy Counterbalance right now. Pick up a Muxus. Cast a second Aether Vial. It's very possible this gets countered. Okay, my opponent has a Flusterstorm left on top of their library. I am definitely good with that being there. Have a bad lands here. Pass the turn. And again, we're going to try to keep Prismatic Ending from answering my Aether Vial. Okay. That's fine. I can still do Pile Driver shenanigans. Oh? Oh. It was me, Doomsday, this whole time. I think I can just go for a Muxus next turn. So I put Pile Driver in, I put Sharpshooter in off my Vials. I cast Skirk Prospector. It'll be 3, 4, 5. If I draw any land, I can cast a Muxus next turn and hope to try and kill my opponent by getting haste. I'm going to have 4 damage showing, which does not kill my opponent in 1 turn. There is also the Counterbalance to be thinking about, and my port. Alright. I'll activate this. Yes. Put in Pile Driver. Pick up this vial. Okay, so that's the land. Do I want to go for Muxus? If I go for Muxus, I don't port. I just have lethal in 2 turns. But I feel like my opponent will have built a pile that can kill me next turn with the number of cards that they have in hand. I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. Put in Sharpshooter. Cast Skirk Prospector. I see if it resolves. Resolves. Alright. Do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I leave Skirk Prospector so I can play around a daze. Alright. I attempt the Muxus. We will get a couple of Goblin Sharpshooter on tap triggers. God damn it. Alright. C'est la vie. My opponent now very likely wins just because like I can't kill them quickly. They probably won anyway with like what was in their hand. Yeah, so then this is an Ideas Unbound kill. I think the LED also meant that my port wasn't relevant. Okay. We don't have much interaction for Doomsday. Like I can try to muck up piles with Surgical. I can try to Mindbreak Trap. That sometimes works. Ugh. This is a disaster of a league. I don't know that Mindbreak Trap actually consistently does what I need it to do. I'm gonna ward Surgicals and maybe think about some Pyroblasts. None of that is exactly great. Board Kiki Jiki out. Let's maybe board Crater Makers or Munition Expert out. My opponent does have a Teferi. It's just something they showed me. Not love with those cards exactly. Not in love with Goblin Sharpshooter either, though. Or Jump Home Incinerator. Do something like this, I guess. I don't know. I just do not feel like we're winning the matchup lottery here. This is not keepable. Hello, Taiga. Ugh. That's also not really good. I'm going to keep it. I'm not happy about it. I have nothing to put in with Goblin Lackey. But I don't think it's worth going to 5 to try to fish for better than this. My opponent is going to 5. Alright. Goblin. Red. Do the thing. My opponent F6'd, so they don't have counterspells. Okay, Munitions Expert is not exactly a great draw here. This is a May, right? Yeah, I may. Sure. Alright. I will poke you for 1 and put in a 1/1. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Would you like to end me? Yep, they would like to end me. Sure thing. So now as long as they build a pile that can beat a Pyroblast, I lose. Okay. We will be countering that. Because we can. Goodbye. We'll make them wait. Thank you, Munitions Expert. Very cool. Send them. Go to 7. Do this. This is a May, so I just click no. And that's that. I have to survive 2 more turns. It's rough. I blast it. And hopefully this is good enough. On board, I get to attack for 3, and then I get to attack for 4. Goblin. Can't think of... That's not true. A weird bounce spell situation could make me want to do something else here. So I'm just going to cast this, and then I guess if my opponent were for some reason to bounce one of these to my hand, I could replay it. That shouldn't happen. Okay, cool. Got lucky. I don't think I will be making any further changes here. Again, I don't think the Mindbreak Trap is particularly strong. It's a little better on the draw, but it's just kind of a questionable card. Like, a singleton Mindbreak Trap is not reliable, and a lot of times Doomsday goes Dark Ritual Doomsday and then wins the next turn frequently without casting 3 spells. Maybe I just need it on the draw because these Munition Experts are big poopy. Like, I'll keep one so I can have an out to a Planeswalker or something, but I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm doing things. I will keep this. I don't interact with my opponent, but I produce a Muxus on turn 2. Like, that's me doing my thing to the best of my ability. JK, this hand does nothing, and I am sad. Yeah. That would have been a great time to spike another goblin and, you know, restore my faith in humanity. Okay. Alright. We're not going to show my opponent the land that they don't know about yet. Goblin Matron's not particularly good. There's not like a secret combo hate goblin that I can just play and everything is better. Am I supposed to tag this to buy time? Go with yes. I'm not going to hold it up next turn because I need to cast this Goblin Matron to attempt to get the show on the road. Wow. Force pitching a force. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Okay, there's a fetch land to clear it. Okay. Alright. Just have like a Cauldron there as a juke. You have a Batter Skull. Okay, so first, do I just blow up Scrubland, or do I just, like, fetch a way to destroy it now? I can probably just destroy Scrubland. I assume my opponent's mana base is not particularly good. Yeah, let's try taking out the white so I don't have to actually expend resources dealing with Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah. Sure. I don't need Taiga, I already have green. I just grab another Badlands. Cast a Matron. Yes. Pick up a Masked Vandal. Sure, you get a Batter Skull. If you ever drop 3 mana, I get to destroy it. Sure. Okay. Is that your mana for Doomsday too? Cool. Okay. I'm just gonna take the 4 here. My life total doesn't matter. I'm gonna die in another way. Alright, let's blow up the Batter Skull. And then pretend like I'm not going to die next turn to Doomsday. Yes. Exile the lackey, or the other lackey from my graveyard to blow that up. And then I probably just die immediately. Alright. Holy shit, am I not gonna die immediately? Cool. Doesn't matter though, Goblin Lackey can't get in. Do I get another turn? What gives me the highest chance of actually living? I can play Pashalik Mons. And then if I draw any land, I can have lethal with Sling Gang. That's probably my line. I'm just not stoked to be passing the turn here again. I was hoping that we could get in with Lackey this turn. But I would need a munitions expert to get through. My opponent has one of their 2 creatures in play. Yep, alright. GG's. Okay, my opening hand does nothing, basically. There's no plan here. This hand is, like, painfully slow, I think. Like, I can play turn 2 Mog War Marshal. If I draw a land, turn 3 Goblin Warchief, and then play some Matrons afterwards. I don't like this. This hand is much better. I'll be keeping this. Probably throwing back Goblin Crater Maker. And again, it's one of those times where, like, am I playing the Vial on 1 or the Lackey on 1? I think it's the Vial. If I had a Muxus in hand, I would probably just go for the Lackey here. But, like, I want Aether Vial to be ticking up because I'm going to try and put a Ringleader in ASAP. Nice, a wastelandable land. But this could be like Doomsday again. God damn it. Fuck you, piece of shit Magic card. Ah! Alright, my opponent has resolved their Doomsday. I'll take off this Aether Vial, I will wasteland them, and we'll see if this is going to be good enough. The answer is probably not, but, like, we'll try. Okay. Sure. Brainstorm Crack LED for blue, blue, blue. I lose. Yep. Alright, so this is a version of Doomsday we're particularly bad against because it has personal tutors to just go as fast and consistently as possible. Alright, cool. Alright, I guess we're surgical and blasting. I guess I play this. Am I supposed to Magus of the Moon to try to cheese wins? Maybe. So I don't particularly want those. I don't particularly want this. This is quite slow. There's still 4 more cuts if I board in all this crap. Sharpshooter's bad. Raider makers aren't particularly amazing either. Ugh. Just my deck's bad against this deck. I think I trimmed a Matron before, kind of rationalizing that it was slow. War Marshal's not particularly great either. Just my existence is pain currently. The Goblin Lackey hand, but this hand doesn't really do anything beyond that. Is that fine? I guess it's fine. This is another one of those like Aether Vial or Lackey hands. It's probably Aether Vial. Like, I really want to just play and connect with Lackey, but I want to Rishadan port my opponent literally every turn for the rest of the game. And if I end up getting any source of card advantage, like a Matron or a Ringleader or something, I need this ticking up now in order for those cards to have any relevancy in the matchup. Alright. Yeah. Alright, my opponent has resolved their Doomsday. Let's see if I just get turn 1 with no ability to use my hate card. Seems likely. Yeah. Oh wait, no. Oh my gosh, so it's Petal Thassa's Oracle. Alright. Good match. Okay. This hand doesn't do anything. So mulligan. This hand has an Aether Vial, so keep. I'll probably just throw back my 5-drop here. Opponent is going to 5. If I am playing against Doomsday, again, I'm gonna become the Joker. Just we live in a society speeches all around. Okay, my opponent kept on 5. I think I need to fetch a Badlands here because I do have Munitions Expert. And if this gets countered and then we get Wasteland after my opponent went to 5, like, so be it. Don't you fucking dare. God damn it. Okay, hold on. It might not be Doomsday. Okay. Is it? Okay. Well, for a hope there, I had a dream. My opponent was just going to keep a reasonable hand with like a Hymn to Turok. Yeah. Alright. Turaka's Pithing Needle, Relic, I guess Mindbreak Trap. This stuff can come in. I maybe want one Masked Vandal not to. Munitions Expert probably doesn't kill anything. I'll leave one as a tutor target. I just feel like my deck is garbage. I just feel like every card in my deck is just bad in every round that I'm playing. I've lost faith in Goblins. Raider Maker's not really good. Mod War Marshal's not really good. Masked Vandal, I probably don't get a creature in my graveyard to actually turn it on. Munitions Expert, I'm probably not going to have a high enough Goblin density to do anything. Fuck. This hand doesn't do anything. Mindbreak Trap's not good enough to keep a hand based on. This hand also doesn't do anything. So, you know what I'm gonna say? You know what I'm gonna say? Yeah? You do? Alright, I should have boarded out Goblin Sharpshooter. I missed that one. Cool. I will keep this 5-card hand that falls apart to a Thoughtseize. Alright, a Cavern goes back. A second Cavern goes back. And I guess the Bloodstain Mar. My opponent's on 4. I might Mize a win with Surgical. Land go. Yeah. Can I Surgical Extraction my life total? No? Alright. Cool. Goblin. I guess I play one of these bad cards. I guess I play Pile Driver. Like, Mod War Marshal is really bad. It doesn't start attacking my opponent next turn. And I'm not going to pay the Echo cost. Okay, cool. Cool. Unless my opponent just has Entomb, in which case it is not cool. Alright. Guess I pay the Echo now. I don't really want to, but seems appropriate. Get him. How much are we hitting in for? All right, we're hitting in for 7. There's a hope. Okay, cool. I don't think I am bluffing anything here. Like, if my opponent has stuff at this point, they're casting it, right? Send them. I have lethal next turn. Alright, opponent did not have an Entomb end step. Okay. Do I die now? Right. Well, it can't be Reanimate, so there needs to be a Dark Ritual or a Lotus Petal after this. Okay. We didn't really do anything, but my opponent mulled to 4 and literally didn't do anything. Cool. Sharpshooter out, Magus of the Moon in, I guess. Sure. So am I gonna... About to say, am I gonna mull for 1 of 2 surgicals? The answer, yes. Okay. Cool. So my opponent stacked this correctly, so I can't surgical the grief. Yep. You... Okay, sure. Alright. You're gonna get me with Entomb after I play this relic? Seems fitting. I'm still going to try. I guess I pass the turn and tap this in their upkeep, because if they cast an Entomb, I want to remove the grief. Okay. I'd really like to draw a second land. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Do your thing. Uh-huh. Cool. Alright. GG's. Okay. So, this was a 1-4 league, and the only match we won was against Reaple Cheap, whose deck basically did nothing. This was a disaster. I do not feel good about this deck list. It feels quite awful. I reiterate everything I said in the intro. I don't like this list. I think a lot of the singletons don't make a lot of sense. The sideboard feels awful. The Taiga not being a black source came up a couple of times. I don't know that that's worth playing Masked Vandal. And I am just kind of out of energy at the end of this league. Like, I did not play a reasonable Goblins game of Magic where I got to, like, do Matron Ringleader or Muxus things. Like, I barely played Magic this league. I do not recommend Goblins or Magic Online at this time. I think that's pretty clear here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my suffering. If you did, click the like button. That will make up for all the tears I shed while playing this league. If you want to get something else on this channel other than Goblins, that information is in the video description. And if you want to try out this exact deck list, I mean, that'll be there too. But, you know, you saw this. You saw what happened. Don't put yourself through that. Have a great rest of the day, folks.